up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Talking Elite Fitness. I'm Sean Woodland with Tommy Marquez. Lauren Khalil is off this evening. She is currently in Southern California, where I will be tomorrow evening for the TYR Wodapalooza SoCal. How you doing, man?
I am good. I am a little fried. The sun has gotten better at me the last 2 days.
It is hot out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely a few shades darker, and I spent a good portion of the day out in the sun yesterday. And what is that old age that saying, like, what kind of hubris to think you're stronger than the sun?
Mm-hmm.
For people who don't wear sunblock, I wore sunblock, but still,
well done.
Even Mother Nature's natural suntan lotion couldn't save me.
Yeah, man, it's been warm. Like the other day, I thought fall was coming. I had that experience with the overcast skies, and the leaves are starting to change colors. Got dipped maybe into the 70s, low 70s, high 60s. I'm like, okay, here it comes. And nope, false alarm. We are still very much in summer here in Northern California. It's been toasty. So,
and you know what? Because if you go back to our fall things draft with Danny Spiegel a few years ago, I believe I drafted crisp mornings.
You did, yes, crisp mornings, man. Highly underrated.
And the mornings have been a little crispy, which is nice.
Have been. Yeah, It's been good. The AC isn't running as much at night here. So I had to, man, oh God, I had to go visit my mom in Sacramento, and it's hot there too. And she's like a reptile. She keeps it at 77 in her house. I was like, Mom, I'll pay the bill. I'm cranking this down tonight. I can't sleep in this house if it's 77 degrees. I don't know what that is Celsius, but whatever. But it's just like, you can't. That's what I used to deal with as a kid. And it was horrible. I had a box fan that I slept with like 2 feet from my bed, and I just had it on full blast the whole night, just hitting me with air.
I think I would cramp everywhere from just losing so much sweat. And I
don't know, parents in their AC, whatever. But today we actually have some news to talk about that happened this very day.
Big news.
And then we're also going to preview the 2025 TYR Cup that's taking place down in Southern California this weekend. So excited about that. But let's start with the news that broke today. I think this is the earliest ever that we've had dates and format for the upcoming season.
I would say, earliest by like 2 months.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was close. I off the top of my head, and you've been around this sport as long as I have, even longer. I can't remember having dates and format in September. That's like a December, November thing.
Yeah, no, typically what would happen is, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past. So previously, when there was the Invitational, when it was open regionals games, you would have the Invitational that would take place sometime November-ish, right before the holidays. I want to say it was before Thanksgiving. Usually at the Invitational, they would announce when the dates for the open the following year. After that, it was usually they try to, between December and January, announce dates for regionals. And it has fluctuated year in and year out. First year sanctionals, the full season wasn't announced before Wodapalooza in January. So the season technically started, and then they announced the rule book and details for the season. So that was a bit of a one-off wacky year. And then depending on the season and who's in charge and who's handling things, there have been varying degrees of announcements and timelines for that. So this is fantastic that they're announcing it this far ahead. Because September, a lot.
Well done.
Usually, in past years, like most games athletes are just now maybe even just starting to get back into the gym for basic stuff, much less think about next season.
Yeah. Well, let's go over this. And if you're watching this, I have the game schedule graphic that is on games.crossfit.com that you can go check out. but we know the dates of the Open. I think those are pretty much locked in anyway. February 26th through March 16th. Okay, 3-week Open. Here's one of the big changes. I guess it's not a change. It's sort of like a back to the past, back to the future here.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterfinals are making a return, and those are going to run March 26th through 30th for individuals and the age groups. So that's big. So quarterfinals are back. We'll just put a pin in that. We'll come back to that. I'm going to run through the structure here really fast. Then we have semifinals. Yep. So you're going to have in-person semifinals for individuals, age groups, and teams. So age groups now included in-person qualifying opportunities. That has never happened before. Correct? Like that's never happened. It's always been online. So now finally we're getting some in-person qualifying events for the age group athletes. There will still be online semifinals. Let me just scroll up here because I think they have the dates for those. Here are the dates. So age group quarterfinals and individual quarterfinals, same dates. Semifinals are April through June. Age group online semifinals, May 7th through 11th. Then there's team online semifinals, June 4th through the 8th. And the individual online semifinals, June 11th through the 15th. Then you got the games, the Community Cup, Masters CrossFit Games by Legends, Teenage CrossFit Games by Pit Team Throwdown, and the Adaptive CrossFit Games by Wheel Wad. All those dates TBD, but as you look at the graphic, it's sort of like August, sort of July, late July, early August, as they have the CrossFit Games penciled in. So first, two biggest things, obviously, quarterfinals are coming back, in-person qualifying opportunities for the age groups. And I'm interested to hear what you think about this, Tommy, because there's two schools of thought. And like I've kind of been reading the comments a little bit. I just like to see what kind of, and that's not a scientific sample or anything like that. It's just people who choose it. But there's a lot of it's like in support of quarterfinals coming back. And there's some, here we go again, changing it. And I get that, but I got to give CrossFit credit for listening to what people wanted. I think a lot of people missed quarterfinals. They brought it back. Also, opportunity, you can't deny this. It's an opportunity for them to make more money off the season. I'm fine with it. Like, I like the fact that quarterfinals are back because I talked to some people who did the Open this year and they're like, man, I kind of wish I had a chance to go to quarterfinals. That was really my goal. And now that's back. So I think that even though we are, changing it again, it's not like this is a hard left turn into territory we've never been before.
No, it's not this complete out of left field new change, which most of the changes have been previously, where it's like, hey, we're adding this new wrinkle in, or we're shifting this new format and structure. It's essentially the same structure that we had a couple of years ago, bringing back a competition stage. I would say the only real new thing is the order with which semifinals happen. Mm-hmm. So the online semifinals are happening last, and I believe in kind of the description, it's going to serve as like a last chance opportunity for people to qualify for the games. I actually like that better.
Yeah, I do too.
That fits more of the last chance qualifier type vibe, being online and being at your affiliate, and it gives people I just like that format better. The in-person qualifying for age groups, which is a new thing, I think is additive. It's something that age group athletes have been clamoring for a decade plus. Just trying to figure out ways to have that opportunity. Don't know the full details of it. Obviously, there's still a lot to be figured out. I think the fact that they still announced the partnerships with Wheel Wad, Legends, and Pit Team Throwdown, gives me confidence that they could work out something that'll be effective and be reasonable, and also have be a building block because whatever they do for this first in-person semifinals for age groups is not going to be perfect. No. Because it is a little bit of a trial balloon, but I do really like quarterfinals as an intermediate step for a lot of people to continue to compete, that otherwise their season's done after the Open. And it gives, whether people want to admit it or not, or that like a lot of people just genuinely enjoy competing, and having a carrot to chase can help provide external motivation to show up to the gym more, be be more diligent in your training and nutrition, all of those things. And that quarterfinal step, I think, was a cool opportunity for a lot of people who have been training for a long time, have a good amount of fitness, and just really just want to apply under the umbrella of competition again. I personally love doing it. I love that the age group and individual quarterfinals are mashed together the same weekend, and you pay one fee if you qualify for both, so you can participate in both. I think that's fantastic. That was one of the gripes of like people basically being like, all right, well, you have it the same weekend, or do you have it separate weekends? I got to pay 2 fees. And if you're repeating some of the tests, or the test's going to be slightly different, it was kind of, it felt like they were straddling the fence a little bit. One fee for quarterfinals, you get to participate in both divisions as a kind of a tip of the cap for people who qualify for both. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think really all that's left is the specific dates of the partner events for semifinals and when those would be, right? Because as far as the questions of you that the elite athletes might have, it's when do I need to book stuff and when am I going to travel?
Yeah, and the biggest question I have now too is, are they going to change anything about the qualifying process from quarterfinals into semifinals? Like, is it going to be geographically cordoned off so that you have to go to a certain one? I prefer that just because I think it makes it more exciting. I don't like just from a fan standpoint, I don't like the multiple chances to compete. I do like if you have a last chance qualifier, that's fine. Like the online semifinal, if you don't make it through your, if it's like the old regionals days where you had to go to a certain one, then you take a certain amount from those go to the games, and then the spots, I don't know, if you're qualifying 5 out of each one, spots 6 through 10, then go to the online semifinals, and they compete with everybody else in the world for however many spots. I prefer that kind of structure. I don't really like to just sign up for whatever one you want and go. I know the argument there is that, well, then some athletes that maybe people don't get to see go to different ones, maybe they travel, but I kind of just like that regional flavor.
Yeah. I wonder if they might do a little bit of a hybrid of that, because it does say in the description for semifinals, it says the top 2,000 men and women from quarterfinals will advance with the opportunities to compete at semifinals or in the online semis. Now, 2,000 athletes for both men and women is way more than what would normally compete at semifinals. So that leads me to believe that the wider net option is probably geared towards online semifinals.
Sure.
When you're not restricted by a number of heats and athletes that you can host in person, especially if that's a last ditch effort for most of those people that they would only ever want to compete. Realistically, might compete online. Some might go to the in-person one if they had the opportunity, because it's like, this is my one chance type thing. But I wonder if that you could still get both of those, like cast the wide net for online semifinals and still have the qualifying criteria for those semifinals be region specific. So you're kind of getting the same thing while giving the appearance of being open like last year. It's I think, like, really, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that pops out, because I do think there probably the in-person qualifying opportunities for age groups will probably be tethered to those partner semifinals. That sound about right?
You would think yes, unless there's someone out there who just has a lot of money who just wants to run 4 masters only events. But I would agree with you. I think in order to make that work in the most economical way possible, you do probably need to match them up with the individual and teams ones. It's a long weekend. Like, I mean, I don't know. You could be running 2 separate floors. It's doable, but you need, you're going to need more resources.
I just circled back on the fine print. It does say they'll have an opportunity to compete at select semifinals. So they will be tethered to those partner events is the guess. And probably just a few of the big ones where that, might have that opportunity. But I'm interested to see how that gets deployed.
Yeah.
But man, either way, just having this information now is
giant.
is huge. And And honestly, like even given with the changes of the last few years, knowing the structure is just as important as the dates. Because even though they gave like a April to June range for semifinals, most people know that that's going to kind of be the few months I got to stay ready. But I don't know. I just think it's good that they're able to announce that now.
Well, the one big asterisk that you got to throw in here, and we've talked about this before when it has to do anything with concerning 2026, is that if there is a sale and whoever buys is like, yeah, we're not doing that, we're changing everything. I don't think that will happen. I don't think that would be a smart move by whoever's going to buy it to come in and just scrap this whole thing, unless they're going to say, I think the only thing that people would be like, hell yes, would be like, we're going back to open regionals games. That'd be the only thing.
Yeah, but it's almost like this is, so let's assume there's a sale and there's some amount of changeover personnel wise, right? This is almost, by announcing it now and getting it out into the space now, you're effectively getting some of the early legwork done. So by doing that, it makes the task of making changes this season seem that much bigger and a little bit more tedious in unwinding that. So they're almost kind of guaranteeing that even if they don't get to, they get to see this format through, right? Like, hey, I might be on the out, so I'm just going to do all this stuff, and the inertia of this means that some of this stuff will probably stick, if that makes sense.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be a smart move at all for whoever comes in and takes this thing over to say, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to change the whole thing. Because
it's like, I would say it's like an NFL head coach, right? Like there's the playbook of when the coach is on the hot seat. He relinquishes his play calling duties. He has an open quarterback competition. There's a players only meeting. Like you do all these things that you announce out there to basically be like, we're doing this stuff in ways of currying favor and building inertia and momentum behind your cause, regardless of whether or not you stick with it or not.
Yeah. I mean, overall, I think this is a win. It's a
agreed.
I hear the argument of, well, we're changing it again, but I would argue back to that. Yeah, we're changing it, but we're bringing in something that's familiar to everybody that people I think wanted back anyway. And it's a win-win because more people get to compete. CrossFit gets to make more money off the season, which means maybe more resources to allocate to the bigger events in semifinals and the CrossFit Games. Like all rising tide will lift all ships here. It's not like they just came up with something new and just, shoehorned it in there for the sake of changing. Like people are familiar with this format.
It's to stick with another, I don't even say sports analogy because I'll stick within the sport. It's like if there's an athlete that kept changing coaches and, saw some success here and there, just insert athlete A, right? And it's like, oh, another coaching change, and it's coaching change. What are we on? System 6 now in the last 7-8 years.
Yeah, lost track.
But I think there's a difference between the athlete going back to a coach that they previously worked with and had success with, than going to an entire new coach altogether, right? Because I do think some of the issues around season changing is changing the flow of what athletes and fans have to do in order to be involved. And having done this before, I don't think that's as heavy. And I also think administering the season every single time you implement a new system or a new thing, the pitfall, or I guess the growing pains and things that you learn only by doing throughout the season, and the blind spots and areas of improvement, like you don't necessarily have that. You're like, all right, we've done quarterfinals before. We've done this semifinal process before. We've got years of that with at least these two components underneath our belt. So like that's familiar, and we don't have to go through the same growing pains. Now that also speaks to the major gripe that people had with the quarterfinal system is how CrossFit administered it, right? Whether that was judging, whether that was rule clarity, whether that was appeals, whether that was timeframes for appeals, whether that was manpower to actually check all the videos to make sure the right people were getting through and things like that. That's I like if you had a magic wand and you took us back to the first year of quarterfinals, and they went through every video, the appeals process was timely, the the penalties and how they were assessed and all that stuff was clear, which I think at times it was, and sometimes it wasn't. And depending on who was shouting the loudest, it could make you feel one way or the other. But if they actually were consistent in that, I don't think people would have an issue at all with quarterfinals coming back.
No, I agree. I think you hit the nail on the head. The issue is not the structure, it's the bugs that come along with it. How are you going to make sure? How are you going to, like you said, review all the videos? How are you going to make sure the right people are getting through? You're not going to be able to review all of them, so you're probably going to spot check one. Are you going to do the at home review where people can say needs review? Good, how's that going to work? So yeah, it's not the structure. It's like, how are you executing it? So.
Yeah, I mean, if you showed up tomorrow at my doorstep with some 1,000 horsepower American muscle beast, I'd be like, my issue isn't with the car. The car's cool as hell. It's whether or not you can handle that much car.
Might be too much.
That's the issue.
Exactly. So well, you brought something up this that we didn't really talk about yet, but we probably should. And that's talk about coaching. That's Justin Cotler going to HWPO. I mean, that's a huge get for HWPO. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Justin Cotler. I think he's a great human being, fantastic coach. And man, I think and I don't know if we talked about this when this first started happening, but when these training camps first started sort of emerging, it's really, I mean, I think there's the big three and there's everybody else right now. And it might be the big two with Mayhem and HWPO, and then Proven is kind of in that tier. But
I would say Proven's definitely in that tier.
Do you think so?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I would, depending on
solidly.
Depending on how I would even say depending on how you rank, some people might even put Proven ahead of HWPO.
Really?
And I'm not no, that's not necessarily my opinion, but I think if you look at volume of athletes and gym growth, involvement in other things, and part of that too is Proven's flagship quote unquote athlete is still active.
Okay. Right.
It's Tia and it's Shane, and it's she's out there doing crazy things, growing the brand in a multitude of arenas. So I would argue, I would say definitively it's the big three primarily, at least in the States, right? Because I think there's some cool stuff happening over in Europe with Krieger training in Norway, and what Andre Uday is doing with No Shortcuts, even John Singleton with the program. There's some really cool stuff, but as far as U.S. centric training programs that are also international, I think those are the primary three for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'd really be interested in hearing more about the Proven argument, just because when I look at just the personalities and the people who are involved in the resources with Mayhem and HWPO, and I hear what you're saying about the Proven crew, and that's not a knock on their programming acumen or coaching, anything like that. It's not. I just pure scope and resources. I feel like maybe HWPO and Mayhem are just a little bit above it. Maybe that's because they just been in the headlines recently with Austin Malialo, who you and Lauren talked to, going to Mayhem, and now you got Justin Cotler who's joining HWPO. I mean, just sort of the stable of people that they have under their roofs are pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure.
I just don't know. I don't know how these smaller camps are going to continue to be able to compete. Unless it's let's take Training Think Tank, for example. I feel like Max has such a really good relationship with his athletes that his core group is probably not in any danger. I don't think those guys are going to leave. He has a pretty solid stable and a really good relationship with that crew. But how much bigger can he get with those three looming out there?
Yeah, and there's you throw in Invictus, or you even throw in Adam Neifer's crew of Fort Vancouver, and I guess it really comes down to what are their goals too, because Mayhem, and I may be incorrect in this, but I think in the bigger Mayhem picture, a significant one of the largest parts of their business isn't elite athlete training. It's It's their online programs. It's their master's program. It's their like, I guess they're like second tier athlete training. All the people that subscribe to the affiliate gyms to be with that. Like HWPO has their app and all their training programs that they provide. Proven does the same thing as well. They have a slightly different, maybe a business approach in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, they're trying to intently reach a wider audience with like the nets that they're throwing out. Where I maybe Invictus wants that, maybe they don't. Maybe they're content with the success of the gym and their core athletes and having a medium to medium small online athlete training program and remote coaching and things like that. I think Max and Training Think Tank, he has a very specifically curated circle of athletes and influence, right?
Yeah.
And I've never gotten the sense that Max has this like, we want to have 1,000 affiliate gyms and 20,000 athletes signed up worldwide for our programs. Like, I don't know, that doesn't seem like that's his vibe.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair point too. And I think more of what I'm talking about is what you were addressing earlier, is what you said about having affiliates and all that. Like as far as a one-stop shop for everything you can get from elite coaching to affiliate programming and things like that. It seems like that is becoming a more and more exclusive club to try and get into.
Yeah. And I mean, Underdogs was great. I mean, I'll say this, Cotler and Justin and the Underdogs crew might be one of the more unlucky training camps I've ever seen in terms of like just tough breaks.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. I mean, between the move, COVID and the move out to Vegas, and then what happened with Carrie and Bethany and then Danielle, and then Alex now, and the injury on that side, the injury to Ricky when he looked like he was ready to win, and then you feel for Justin. I reached out to him when the news broke as well, just to show him some support. Like the diagnosis with his daughter, it's just like it just wore on him, and it just sat heavy on him, and you can tell that like you and I have not in the exact same way, but like we've had heavy stuff hit us, and it changes your perspective a little bit on where you want to focus your time and energy, and it doesn't always mean that you're going to come out the other side the same person with the same passions and fires and things like that. And I think it made Justin really want to narrow his scope of what he's involved in and focus on that, so when that's done, he can go, be the best dad, husband, partner that he can be. So,
well, he's a fantastic human being, and HWPO got a winner, man. That's a first round pick you build your franchise around. They have so much they just great people. And there's great people at Mayhem, great people at Proven. Like there's awesome people all over this community, but man, they're just, rarely do you see like that many good people under one roof. And I can say the same thing about Mayhem with Austin and Rich and Rory McKernan and that whole crew. And you got O'Keefe and Fraser and Michelle Latondra, and you got you got Cotler. It's like, man,
Jake Marconi.
It's an all-star roster.
Yep.
So
and it's so it's big dues. HWPO, like you said, they got a winner. You assume that the athlete portfolio, I guess, if that's the way to put it, gets absorbed into HWPO. And, Alex Kazan she's a superstar. And when she gets healthy and if she's back to form, then she can compete with the best of them. And I think she can win. Yeah. So,
Cotler, you talked to Cotler about Alex Kazan, and he is fanatically convinced that she has what it takes to win the whole thing. That, and it's not like, oh yeah, I think, it's like he knows, he believes it with his entire being. So yeah, I hope that she gets healthy, and they just announced that she's going to be at the Rogue Invitational, so that's great. Hopefully she's 100% because she's awesome when she's at fully armed and operational.
Yeah, and just kind of going back over the years too. I like when you mentioned how like the strength of conviction that Justin has behind Alex, like. The couple of times I've seen him have that in other areas where just like it's like almost overwhelming. When when Carrie podiumed that year, when Bethany won West Coast Classic, and you're like, oh, he was like, dude. I remember having the conversation because we'd gone out there a couple times to train in person and see with the squad, and he was like, dude, her conditioning and her fitness is on another level right now. If the injury and some of the minor components can stay intact, like she's on a different level, and that was the case. And unfortunately, just never got to show it. So, yeah, he's got a good sense for when that's like, all right, this is a really good shot.
Oh, we can move on to the TYR Cup here, but the last thing that I'll say about Justin, the highest compliment that I can pay him is that if my son ever got into CrossFit and he needed a coach, I would send him right to Justin Cotler. That's how much I think he's just a fantastic human being, and all the best for him, and congratulations to HWPO to bringing him on board. Okay, next thing that we're going to talk about, final thing, is that we have live competition going on this weekend. Starts Friday night Pacific time for the TYR Wodapalooza SoCal and the TYR Cup. That team format that I absolutely love. I remember last year when they announced this, like I was just jazzed for it, because I think that this is the most exciting. This is the way you inject excitement into the teams. 8 people. You have a weekend competition where there's 3-on-3, 2-on-2. Everybody compete at the same time. Old school 6-on-6. You have the captain's battle. Like there's all this different stuff, and it is very Ryder Cup-ish. So you have North America versus the world. And last year, I remember going in, it was like, oh, North America is going to clean up. Like this isn't even going to be close. And they were tied, if I recall correctly, after Saturday night. Now, North America pulled away on Sunday. They had 3 wins, and they wound up winning 7-6. But, they have, so I think on North America, they have 5 returning members from last year with 3 new ones. So you got Brandon's back, Vellner's back, Pepper, Raptis, and Medeiros. And then the 3 new ones are Kerstetter, Hopper, and Lawson. And then for the world team, I think they have 4. I think it's Toomey, Guy, Grace Walton, and Emma Tall. And then the 4 new ones are Jay Crouch, Roman Krenikoff, Amy Kringle, and Ricky Garrard. I mean, on paper, this is much closer than it was last year. It's like I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I am really looking forward to this event, and I think TYR Wodapalooza SoCal does it right in that they start it in sort of prime time, and the event it's only like a couple hours that you got to watch to really take this all in, and it's 3 days, and they're going to have a lot of fun. They've adjusted the scoring is going to be a little bit different. So this is pretty cool. So they're going to have, like, for example, so they taking whatever event, winner gets a point. You finish under the cap. So if you win, you get like 2 points, and if you finish under the cap, you get 1 point or something like that. So it's like you win, you get a point. You finish under the cap, you get a point, so that's 2. So that's the way it would be. So if you win, you get 2 points. And then if you finish under the cap, you still get a point. So what that does is it prevents, so if your team is lost, there's actually points up for grabs. Like you still have to work to try to earn that point. So it adds a little bit of excitement in there. So it's not just like this event is worth 2 points, winner gets 2, so it's 2-0, or like it's 1-0, it's 2-1. So there's a way to keep the losing team in an event going until the end, so they just don't shut it down. I think that's
so
cool.
you're not sandbagging to save energy to try and like you're not. No disrespect to you, buddy, because I love you, but you're not Pat Barbering it like back in 2011.
No,
when he was like clearly sandbagging the first 2 parts of the finale so he could win the last one and kind of have his moment. But
I got to ask you this, because I've been read in on everything, so I don't want to spill the beans on anything I'm not supposed to. But have any events been publicly announced?
Yes, one of which is my no rep. So let's see. There's one. So yeah, there's 1, 2.
I've been off the social media lately, so I haven't.
Yeah, 3, 4.
Where are you looking at this?
5, 6 on there. 7, 8, 9. I think 10. 10 of the 12 events have been announced.
Oh,
yeah. So this is This is on their Instagram handle. So
TYR Wodapalooza SoCal.
Yep. Or it's just Wodapalooza.
All right, let's look this up. I'm going to effort this and put this up on the screen. All right, you want to? No, my computer doesn't want to work. Of course. All right. Well, what's go through the first one?
Okay, so like in chronological order, or as far as like what we're gonna see first?
Yeah, chronological order. That's fine.
Let me find it. I don't. Okay, Echo on Fran is the first one that they announced, which is all of the athletes compete as individuals for combined time. Echo on Fran was a repeat workout that they brought back from Wodapalooza previously. 21:15.9 thrusters, chest to bar pull-ups.
Oh, I'm seeing all these. Okay, I'm going to go
calorie echo bike. That is nasty. I remember talking to Pat Vellner at World Fitness Project about that one, and he was not thrilled.
All right. Well,
what's up?
No, I found it on Instagram. You want to just go? We'll go through in the order in which they were announced. You want to do that?
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll get to that one in a second. So, okay. So let me call this up. Hang on one second.
Echo on Fran was the first one that was announced.
Okay, well, I got this one, the skier shootout. That's the first one I can find. This is pretty cool. So this is 4-time. It's a waterfall style. So that is everyone goes. I think it's men and women. I could be wrong. Oh, it's teams of 3. 3 men versus 3 men, 3 women versus 3 women. So you do 21 or 18 calories on the ski erg, a 40-foot unbroken handstand walk slalom course, and then 7 erg shoot shot attempts.
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be fun. And for those of you that know your history, this is not the first time in competition that we have had some sort of shooting. I think in the very first Rogue Invitational that they held at the old Rogue, the Rogue headquarters in Columbus, Ohio, they had air rifles that they were using. So it was like a biathlon thing, and they could shoot. I think they had to shoot standing, kneeling, and maybe prone is what it was. I can't remember, something like that. So this has happened before. These are laser pistols.
I've shot this.
Is it pretty? Yeah, I've talked to John Woolley, and I spoke with the erg shoot crew and
Kyle Rolfe.
Yeah, Kyle Rolfe's on that. So he said I could stop by when I'm down there and check it out. But I think this is going to be fun, and this is the type of event or competition where you do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so the way it works is pretty much there's a center, like a bullseye-ish center dot that works. If they're using the pistols, usually they make you do one hand. The way you reload is there's like a little flip lever, almost like that pops up and reloads the laser pistol.
Mm-hmm.
And if you pull the trigger, it has an actual click. If you hit inside the target, there's a sequence of red dots above, and the dot turns green.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then once you get 5, bullseyes and all of them turn green, then that board resets. If they use that same one and they have to do 20 good shots, I wonder if they'll set up like 4 boards per team. It's really fun. It's really easy to like learn and apply. And anyone who's done any sort of shooting sports, obviously with a higher heart rate and doing it quickly leads to the likelihood that a bunch of different errors will happen, whether you're anticipating a trigger pull and lifting the muzzle or all sorts of different stuff. I think this is a cool way to incorporate, like you said, this is the type of event that you can do it. And I'm actually really excited to see how this plays out, particularly with this format, right? So notice it says 7 erg shoot shot attempts, and the goal is to have 20 successful target hits. So basically, you get through those other like traditional work as fast as you can. You get 7 shots. But remember, if you're taking your time shooting, you're holding up the people behind you because it's waterfall style. And then obviously, if you rush it and you miss, then you have to reset. So if all 3 of so it's male trios, female trios. If all 3 athletes hit all 7 of their shots, you would have 21. So you only have room for 1 miss.
Yeah.
If you want to get it through in one rotation. If you have 2 misses, then one athlete is going through the whole ring car wash again, which is I like that format. I think it's a cool way to add something unique like this erg shoot. Yeah, and I did. I think it was. Let me think. I want to say Kyle did five burpees over a line, five like line facing burpees, five hits on the target, 5 rounds. And so I did it against some people that were there at WFP, kind of testing it out as well. It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah. Well, you were right. So this is echo on Fran. I went a little bit back a little bit. So this is athletes compete as individuals, each performing the workout in a heat of men and a heat of women. All right. So this is everyone's going to go. So this is 4-time 21:59 of thrusters at 135.95. Gross. Chest to bar pull-ups and calories on the echo bike. My God.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
That is terrible.
That was a repeat from Wodapalooza of years past, but yeah.
Man. Okay, so that's workout number 1. So welcome to the TYR Cup. You just get to take an acid bath in event number 1. That is not fun. Sheesh. All right, so you got Echo on Fran. We did the skier shootout, and now we got skier shootout is workout 2, and then workout 3 is hang on, let me call this up. The Oli show. This will be fun. So Olympic lifting for all 8 athletes. Okay. So for total combined load, all 4 will do 1 man and 1 woman will do a 1 rep max snatch, and 1 man and 1 woman will do a 1 rep max clean and jerk. Okay. Then I think they switch out, and then the next 4 come in, and they go head to head, male versus male, Isabel, female versus female, also Isabel, and then the next pairing goes. So actually, it seems like they're all going to do this. Now everybody does both parts. God, ugh. So that'll be fun.
This is cool because very rarely do you. I assume did the loading the same? Nothing funky on the loading. Did they say that?
No, I think it's 135.95. But
cool. Yeah,
for Isabel Grace.
Because very rarely do you see the elite athletes, especially in this day and age, get to do something like Isabel or Grace at full competition speed.
Yes.
Right. 15 years ago, it was very common for athletes to do these benchmarks as a way to actually like test to see where they're at relative to other elite athletes. I would say, workouts like Grace and Isabel maybe aren't as applicable across the elite athlete spectrum as a test, but doing so in this format as a combined like sprint, I think that's a really unique way. And you can actually, maybe see some people going broken and
going head to head.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be, I think they're facing each other on the floor. That's going to be awesome. Wasn't Isabel part of the girls back in 2012 at the games as like the final?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. As the team, it was 2012 for individuals, and then the teams also did it as a relay race. They did a girls relay race as well. I think they did in 2011 too.
Okay. All right. Well, we did the skier shootout, and then we got. All right. So this is workout 4. I believe this is probably day 2, and I don't think this one. I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that isn't going to be broadcast. So this is the 4-leg relay. So it's foursomes, 2 men, 2 women against 2 men, 2 women. So athlete 1 does a 300-meter open water swim. Athlete 2 will do 3,000 meters or 2,400 meters on the ski erg. Athlete 3 will do 4,000 meters or 3,200 meters on the echo rower. And then athlete 4 will do a 4,000 meter beach run. God. I'm really interested to see, like, since it's, you don't have to designate whether the man or the woman does the machines, right? It's basically shooter's choice. Because the calories are, I don't know, like that, there's an interesting strategy there.
Yeah. I mean,
that's going to be a fun one. I mean, I don't think that's like the most spectator friendly one, but it's a good test.
Yeah. This is really interesting, especially because like I would go and say Team World has some very unique skill sets with Tia and Amy Kringle on the women's side,
and stick Roman on a bike,
and or Roman swimming too. Remember,
either one. That's true.
Yeah,
but I think I would put Roman on the bike because I think I think he's so much better than everybody on the bike that you could find someone who's a decent. I don't know. I think you could find someone else who's great. Isn't Grace Walton really good in the water? I mean, Australians are always really good in the water.
Yeah, you got some really. I think World has some really good options.
Yeah, this is a good one for them.
Agreed.
So I think that kicks off. I think there might be 3 a day. I'm not sure, but I can't imagine them doing that at night on Friday. I'm guessing that's going to be a daytime event on Saturday. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got 4-leg relay. Then what else do we have? We have min to max. Okay, this is going to be fun. This is a good one. All right, so this is min to max for time. It's mixed gendered pairs. 90 toes to bar. 45 strict wall facing handstand push-ups. 30 ring muscle ups, and you have to alternate minutes per teammate. So you can only work for a minute and then you switch out.
This is exactly why I like this competition, is because you get to see some really unique competition formats, and this is one of them. With the minute interval, the forced minute interval, awesome. Like prefacing this by like some of these may not work out, they may not look as cool or play out as well, but you get the feedback on them, and this is how you start to refine them a little bit too.
Guy Maiero's already in there. At this point, you better just give us the trophy. Too easy. Okay, Guy, I like the trash talking.
Also, like, have we seen anyone go a minute? Like, what's the most for like a minute straight of toes to bar? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is really, I love that format. I think that's, because you could I'm sure you could get some just gymnastic ace up there to knock out half of them. And I don't know, maybe you could do a minute. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I guess you could. I mean, if you're going fast, you could probably knock out 45 in a minute.
Yeah. And how often do we get to see like a sprint minute max capacity test for some of these athletes?
Yeah, this is cool.
And especially with these movements too.
Mm-hmm. That'll be a fun one. Okay. So next, let's see what else we got here. I'm just scrolling through their Instagram. Oh, uphill battle. What's this? Oh boy. Okay.
CrossFit Games team style.
Yeah. So let's call this one up. So this is, male-female pairs will alternate to complete the couplet in an ascending ladder. Both pairs will then complete their work as a team of 4. So all alternating male-female pairs, 1 partner deadlift, 1 partner bar-facing burpee. And then I guess the first pair runs out, 1 deadlift, 1 bar-facing burpee. They run back. Next pair runs out. They do 2 and go back, and the next come out they do 3, come back, or maybe they each have to do 1 each.
1-1, yeah, 1-1.
So 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. Okay, that would make sense. So they got to go through that, and then after they're done with that part, they all 4 will do 28 team deadlifts at 715 pounds and 28 team bar facing burpees. God.
Yeah, you remember? Are they bringing back that like team deadlift style bar from?
I think they are like that gigantic one. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. No, this is another one. Like I really like this format. That's another thing that I don't think have we ever seen that, like alternating in an ascending ladder where it's 1 and then you run back and 1 and then like I don't think we've seen that a lot.
Yeah, especially with 2 pairs like that and then joining together. I'm sure there is one in the team competition at some point. Mm-hmm. But the finishing with the combined team deadlift is pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, we got workout 8. So this is Sandy Delivery is the name of this, and they did something like this last year too. And I think that it wasn't broadcast. I don't know if this one will be either, but this is let's see, workout 8 requires the whole squad. So all 8 people are going here. So buy-in is 10 log facing burpees each. Then join the team to deliver 7,500 pounds of gear across the beach. And then you rest a minute. So there's just a bunch of stuff out there that you got to drag from one end to the other. And they're going to wear a 511 tactical vest while doing this.
And this was one of my favorite events to watch last year
Mhm.
because it was pure chaos. It was just unbridled chaos. People, it's like the scene in like, the, I don't know, an active war zone where you see explosions everywhere, people carrying things, and you're like evacing, get this there. No, what are you doing? Get out of there. It was like, and off in the distance, you see, Jeff Adler shouldering an entire worm just by himself,
I remember that.
trudging. And it was, I remember afterwards, all of them sitting there, like a lot of the athletes were just kind of like laughing, like that was wild. That was like fun, like trying to figure out how the hell we do all this. It's pretty much like if you had to like move out of your apartment with all your buddies from the gym for time.
Yeah, exactly. And I love these because I think it's fun when you just say, hey, you got to do the work. However, there's no structure. Just move all that to all there. And then it's like, okay, who works together best as a team? Who is the person out there calling the shots? How well they work? How well can they make adjustments on the fly? There's a lot of things that will be tested here. And again, this would not be something, you couldn't do this at the games. You just, because of just the logistics of it. But for this type of event, I think this is fantastic. I love this stuff. It's going to be a blast to watch that one. I don't think that one's going to be broadcast, but I think that's, it's going to be fun for the spectators on site. I'm sure hopefully we'll have some kind of recap. Okay, finally, I think this is the last one that's been announced. This is Sink or Sink, which is a great title. This is teams of three men, 3 women. So you have to do 4 time. You have to do 35, 25, 15 calories on the echo rower, synchro GHD sit-ups, and synchro front squats. And the weights go up. Oh, pardon me. Hang on. Round 1 is 155, 135, 115. Okay, so there's 3 different weights on the floor, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you get to put your strongest athlete out there. So let's say you get to your first round of synchro front squats. One man will do 155, one man will do 135, one man will do 115, but they got to be synchro. Same thing for the women, 105, 95, 75. Then you go through your round of 25, and then the weights go up, 185, 155, or 135 for round 2. And then you go through it again, and the weights go up a final time, 225, 185, 155. Like that's cool because the assumption would be is that the same person is going to do the heaviest weight each time, but I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do. Mm-hmm. Maybe you save Mongo until the very end, and you let Mongo do either like the lightest or minimum weight, so he's fresh to rip through the 225 at the end. Yeah. But this is cool. Like this is another little cool twist. I think that's going to make things just fun to watch. But that's a nasty event. I love the title too.
Yep.
Sink or Sink. SYNK or SYNC or SNK.
We'll play it on the titles too.
Yeah, I'm a fan. So, but that'll be cool. I mean, I think like last year, I said you're going in. I think everybody just expected North America to mop the floor with the world team. I don't know this time, man. I think it seems pretty even.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you start throwing in these weird events like. And I mean that with all due, that's not a bad thing, but these sort of like unique events like the moving all the equipment and then the beach one, the 4-legged race, like there's just some things that I think have a way of sort of leveling out the playing field. And the fact that, the world's going to be running Tia out there every time. She's not going to get tired, but.
Well, that's what she did last year, right?
Yeah, she did like every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I guess they're going to finish, I think, with the captain's battle. I don't know what that event is yet. That'll probably be announced, but that's another one too. Like it's just going to be, this is a really cool event. And the only thing I wish is that we could expand it to more than 2 teams, because I think that would be a lot of fun. If you could do it like United States, Europe, kind of like the old Invitational.
Yes. Like, dude, we just
Canada, US, we just redid the Invitational essentially. Yeah. That's really what we're doing. Canada, US, Europe, Pacific. Let's just do that and everyone's happy.
Yeah. Oh.
So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun. It's a great atmosphere down there. I think they learned a lot from last year. It was the first time that they've been in that venue. I think they've changed it around a little bit. But Wodapalooza, I think their signature, whether it's in Miami or in Southern California, is that it's always a great spectator event. It's a great place to be, and just hang out and be with the community. The atmosphere in Miami, second to none. I really enjoyed the atmosphere in Southern California when I was there last year. I can't wait to do it again this year. It's I'm going to be calling it with Chase, and it's going to be fun, man. I'm really looking forward to it. I know that it's a competition and there's a lot on the line for the athletes who want to win this thing, but it's nice to have more of like a low key sort of fun competition that will turn heated once the scores start to show up on the scoreboard and the competitive juices kind of start flowing.
And I do like this team format a little bit. You did see a lot of jawing back and forth.
Oh, it was great.
A lot of chatter about people, especially like when you're like, hey, like you're like, for example, last year in the monostructural test, a bunch of people were talking trash about it, and then they didn't have to do it.
Exactly.
It was like, it's like, oh yeah, well, like, well, your squad sucks. All right. And you call Mongo, you break Mongo. Yep. You're like, all right, buddy, go get him.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this event, man. I would, and we've talked about it before. I would like to see participation in it tied to sort of the season structure and your performance there. So you could have a true sort of earned your way onto the all-star team. And you could do that if you opened it up to 4 teams and you just went back to the invitational with US, Canada, Europe. And I mean, think about the teams that you could put together there. And it's like, it would open up for a lot of other athletes to be part of this. And I think get a lot more eyeballs on it. Logistically, I don't know if that could happen, but I would love to see this expand because I think it's such a great format.
Yeah. I'm actually a little bummed that James Sprague didn't get the invite. I felt like he deserved an invite for USA, but I also get them wanting to like stick with some of the athletes who have, I guess, consistently over multiple years, but yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that went into that decision.
Yeah. Okay. We got any community support that we need to get to? You know how the trail run went? Did you hear anything about that? Would that go well?
I heard that it went well. They still have a silent auction that's going on. So you can go everything from signed cleats from Hawaiian native Marcus Mariota to, getaway vacations for, half the price. But yeah,
all right.
Some good options to help raise money.
Cool. Okay, PR's no reps. Oh, if you guys have any community support, as always, please send it to us via our personal Instagram accounts, our Talking Elite Fitness Instagram account. However you want to get it to us, that's great. Just make sure that you include as many details as possible because we always like to make sure that we are sending people to the right spots to get people the help that they need. PR's no reps. You want to start with a no rep? I'm not sure if I have a no rep.
It's funny. We left off one event that was announced and it was my no rep.
Which one is it?
They announced, where is it? The repeat in reverse.
Oh, I haven't seen.
Which is the same monostructure.
My God, we got Pacific Ascent here too. Oh, and repeat in reverse. I did leave a couple off. God, I'm an idiot.
So repeat in reverse, it's the same monostructural test from last year that we saw Fikowski and Dallin and Grace. And
okay. Hey, let's call these last two up. We'll go with that, and then we'll go to the Pacific Ascent. Okay, repeat in reverse.
My no rep is for whoever the poor souls that get trotted back out.
Oh God! Every 5 minutes on the phone. Oh man, that was carnage. That was just carnage right there. That was like Rocky 1. Cut me, Mick. Just trying to prop people up to get through this.
And the best part is Dallin going, "Not cool, guys."
Yeah,
that was the event he had to do last year.
That's amazing. All right, yeah. So that's repeat in reverse, and then let me call up the other one because, like I said, I'm just falling asleep at the switch here tonight. This is, where was it? Pacific Ascent. This one looks pretty cool too, and we'll get that up there so we can. Okay, workout 7. So every athlete will go head to head in a sprint style matchup. So this is kind of what they did. I think it was Saturday night last year, where the world team was able to tie things up. Like that was the one event where I was like, oh, come on. North America is going to wipe the floor with them. So this is head to head, each matchup for time, 3 rope climbs. Then you do alternating dumbbell snatches, 12 at 70 for the men, 10 at 80, and then 8 at 90. And then, so you do 3 rope climbs and alternating dumbbell snatches. And then that's female 1, male 1. Female versus female, and then male do that. And then it's, they would move forward with the dumbbell. That's how it works. You do 12 at one weight, move up 10, move up, do 8. Next 2 go, 3 rope climbs and alternating dumbbell snatches. Weights get heavier. and then so on and so forth as you work your way down. But this is a head-to-head sort of sprint style. And this one's going to be fun because, like I said, last year, because of the matchups that the world was able to get themselves into, they were able to win this event. And I think they were, on paper, they were not nearly as strong as North America. But again, the matchups that they got, and they had some people who really kind of, I think, outperformed what we thought. This is going to be exciting. I like this a lot.
Yeah. So that was I would say it was like Seher Kaya and Anil Kai.
Yes.
It was two athletes that had I don't want to say a turning point for them, but I think for Anil it certainly was. And then they were the two biggest kind of quote unquote upsets that I thought maybe turned the tide a little bit, and even maybe maybe change how some people saw them as athletes.
Agreed.
I guess.
Agreed. No, that event, I think, was one of the biggest surprises that I've, as far as there was such a dichotomy in what we thought was going to happen and what actually did happen. I don't think anybody thought the world was walking away winning that event. Mm-hmm. I mean, I sure as hell didn't think that was going to happen. And the fact that they won it and then it was tied going into Sunday, that really set the stage for an exciting finish. Now, obviously, North America had it wrapped up before the final event because I think that upset them somewhat that they were in that position. But yeah, it's a great format, and that's going to be really cool because I guarantee you there will be some surprises in that one. So, okay, now we've been through everything that's been announced. I apologize that we had to sort of backtrack there. So let's get back to PRs and no rep. So no rep that one. I don't know if I have a no rep.
Oh, I have another one. I'm going to no rep any intermediate team that thinks they're going to be the best dressed out there this weekend because the Buttery Bros are competing with Julian as a team of 3 on the intermediate men.
Oh, God. I'll never forget. This is one of my favorite Buttery Bros. We were in Madison, Wisconsin, and they had those rainbow, just tie-dye, whatever it was, overalls that they were wearing.
Yep.
And Bill Henniger from Rogue Fitness is walking, and I think the Buttery Bros are walking in their towards Bill with their tie-dyed overalls, and Henniger just takes one look and goes, "Nope," and just keeps going. Nope, and just keeps going. It was just the way he looked at him. It was fantastic. Just yeah. Well, okay, they're going to win that fashion battle for sure. That's cool that they're competing. I'm going to look. I'll try to check some of that out because funny things come out of Marston Sawyer's mouth when he's in the heat of competition.
Even when he's not in the heat of competition,
you never know what that guy's going to say. So that'll be good to see them. I think I'm going to no rep the weather messing with me. I thought fall was here. I thought it was okay, finally I'm going to start wearing some hoodies. It's going to be a little crispier outside. And nope, now it's just friggin' hot still. So I really like fall to be here. We're already 2 weeks into football season. I feel like it's time. So, and then that's my PR is football season. It's just, you cannot beat the National Football League. You can't beat it. There's nothing better. It's just the best. Every time you doubt the entertainment value and the dominance of that league, every week something happens. You're just oh man, this is why I love this sport.
Yep. So, and your Rams are 2-0.
2-0. They got to play. They probably 2-1 after this weekend. They got to go on the road and play Philly. But
yeah, I want to say that I think the Rams. There's the prestigious bird gauntlet where all the teams that have birds as their mascots. I think the Rams are the team that have the chance to run the bird gauntlet
this season. Do they play the Falcons?
Yeah.
And the Seahawks. So there's 3: Falcons, Seahawks, and Eagles, and Cardinals.
Falcons, Cardinals, and then the Ravens.
Ravens. Oh, that's right. I don't know if they play the Ravens this year. They might, because they play the AFC South. That's who they're playing this year.
Yeah, no one has ever run the full bird gauntlet before.
Yeah, I don't know. Philly's tough, man, especially in their building. 2-1 isn't bad after week 3, though. I'll take that. Mm-hmm. Indianapolis is going to be the test. That team is. They scored. They haven't. I don't think they've punted yet.
I don't think they've formally punted yet. I think they've lined up over punt formation and then something happened. But
they've scored on their first 10 possessions or something. They haven't punted. That's Daniel Jones Nation right there, man. So that's my PR. You got a PR?
I do have a PR. I am going to PR my homegirl, Amy Bream, who finished second in the above knee, lower impairment female division at the adaptive games. And by virtue of that, I want to PR all the athletes at the adaptive games hosted by Wheel Wad that competed this past weekend, and their seasons are officially completed. I mean, there's, I want to say, almost 30, close to 30 divisions, something like that.
Yeah.
But
it's a Herculean effort that Wheel Wad puts forth to get that competition going.
It really is. They do an excellent job, and there was a ton of athletes that took the floor across the full spectrum of adaptive athletes. And you know what made me? I don't want to say it made me feel old. It made me feel old, but also brought a smile on my face. Do you remember there was a story that was very popular that we ran back in the day when we were at CrossFit about a young woman by the name of Kate Foster? She was. I
don't remember.
She was part of. I think she was a part of the original like CrossFit for Hope campaign. We had a big printed canvas of her on the walls at the office. It is a young girl Kate was a young girl at the time doing a toes to bar on one of those like stick out bar attachments.
Oh yeah, okay, yes, I do remember that. Yep.
And she has a prosthetic leg.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, look up her story. There's an article on the game's website. She got cancer, had to have a bone marrow transplant, had to have her leg amputated, and CrossFit effectively is one of the reasons she was alive and like helped her in her recovery. She finished third, just behind Amy in the adaptive games. So now she's continued in her journey and is now a games.
That's awesome.
Podium athlete in the adaptive division.
Hell yeah.
So kind of a cool full circle moment for anyone who's been in the community for a long time to see her thrive in that. And so an awesome kind of cool story.
That's
for sure.
Sweet, man. Yeah. Congratulations to all those athletes. And thanks to Wheel Wad and Kevin Ogar and that crew for what they do, man. It's just, like I said, that's a Herculean effort to get that event, off the ground and, running smoothly. So thank you very much to them. And okay. That's it for us. If you're going to be at TYR Wodapalooza SoCal and you see me, come say hi. I love talking to the people. I'm going to have some free time during the day because I don't think we really start going until the nighttime. So I'm not going to know what to do with myself. Just be hanging out, watching fitness, go cheering for the Buttery Bros. Do another. Why not, Mars?
Yeah. We'll be giving out some sunglasses.
Yeah, I got some sunglasses. So do you see me and or Lauren? Hit us up. Give you some sunnies.
I won't be there this weekend, but I'll be there in spirit.
You got important things to do. You got family life stuff to take care of. So you'll be there in spirit. All right. And I'm actually going to have time to watch the Rams on Sunday because they start at 10 a.m. So I'm going to get up and post up and watch my team and then get in the mood to go call some CrossFit. Usually the words Wodapalooza and the Dallas Cowboys doesn't sit well with me. I'll never forget that time when I'm like, come on, man, we got to watch the Cowboys game. They're on. They're playing the Green Bay, and it was just a disaster. I felt so bad for you.
Absolute dumpster fire. And I told you the whole time, I was like, I feel like I'm going to a funeral. Yep. And sure enough, for the third time, I think, since I've been going to Wodapalooza, I watched the Green Bay Packers and the Cowboys season.
Well, hey, at least next year, Wodapalooza is outside of the NFL season. So there you go.
Yeah. That's the only way I can avoid it.
All right. Well, on that note, that's going to do it for us. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you at TYR Wodapalooza SoCal. Take care of each other. Be better. And we'll talk to you guys next time.
Kiss at the start of a first date. If it's good, I don't want to wait. When the feeling's right, I'm taking everything.